Hi, everyone, and welcome to the new episode of Building a Harmonious Family with Nevena Bajalats. And today is an episode that you have to listen. We're going to talk about video games today, addiction to video games, why children and teenagers can get and how they can get addicted to video games, and more importantly, how you as a parent can help them. My guest today is Tess Villegas-Rumley, and Tess is originally from Philippines. She lives in beautiful Hawaii for many years. She's going to share her story with us. And she's an artist. She owns her own gallery. She's also an author, but she's very passionate through her own experience that she had, and now helping others overcome this, let's say, problem of addiction to video games. So Tess, thank you so much for being my guest.
Oh, you're very much welcome, Lavina, and I'm so happy and grateful that you're giving me this opportunity to share my passion. Especially with kids. This is really
Yes.
what I wanted to do. Like my friends would tell me, "Well, that's crazy. Why would you choose kids? You don't have money to buy your programs." Like, no, no matter what, my main focus is impacting. I want to impact children and I include parents because Navina, the most vulnerable ones in these very challenging times are the kids.
True, true, true. So tell us, Tess, a little bit about yourself. Just it's very interesting that you have a gallery, you're an artist, and tell us how did you get into this, into helping parents overcome this problem with video games?
Yeah, so I'm originally from the Philippines, as you mentioned, and I came to Hawaii in 2005. But since I was a little girl, like 6 years old, I have the gift actually. But my parents told me, "Oh my goodness, and I wanted to become an architect, because I have that talent." And my parents said, "Oh, why don't you just be a teacher? Because like when you become an artist, you're not gonna make a living at all." And when I went to college, like what I took a literature, but at the beginning, it was such a struggle, but it turned out to be my saving grace, actually, because I learned that literature is basically about life. And I used to be super shy, as I mentioned to you, used to be super shy. I hardly speak. I had very low self confidence. I had a hard time connecting with people, and I didn't have a sense of direction. And after I graduated from college, actually, my first job actually was being a teacher. And what's like, oh my goodness, I was leaving my course, actually my degree as a literature graduate. But it wasn't really it was a very disappointing experience because so I don't want to mention it, it's a long story short. I ended up working in a paint company with, imagine, I was super shy, hardly speak, had very low self-confidence. And my boss hired me because he said he saw, I asked him, why did you hire me? He said he saw so much drive in me. It's like, I didn't even know that. And so that it was during those times, it's like 7 years of being there. I felt like I was really lost. I really didn't know. I didn't have a sense of direction. It's like I felt like something was missing in my life. And when I was 30, that was the turning point. That was my pivot point. And I quit my job. I was broke, actually. I had nothing. It's like I felt empty and naked at the moment. And then I realized that I have everything, that my wealth is just within my reach, because I went back to my true passion. And because of that, that of my being an artist, I got out of my shell. I said, "Oh my gosh, like I have this gift." Like, and I realized that I have a mission greater than myself. Way back in the Philippines, so I did that in three things actually that I did, and finally I decided to be an artist. And so I took, I focused on it. I took massive action and I kept the momentum. It's like everything fell into place. And my good friends, like I had only two friends in college, and she became known in our place, and she became an attorney. And I went to her office and I gave her, a gift, actually, my paintings. Like she couldn't believe that I'm an artist. And like she gave me actually the breakthroughs. Like, okay, I challenge you. I want you to pay in 25 pieces of artwork, and then big ones, and then I'll take care of everything, of the venue and the guests. And so it was amazing because of that, I was really given a breakthrough, and I really followed my passion. And I work in the university actually, working
Beautiful.
with street children.
Yes.
That's where the t-shirt painting started. Because again, as I mentioned to you just a while ago, even at this point, at this time, the most vulnerable ones in these very challenging times are actually the kids. They're bombarded with all
Yeah.
these, the pandemic, and besides, they're given electronics. You know
Yes.
what? My one of my really close friends, he said, Tess, I found the best babysitter in the world. So like, who's that? Electronics.
So tell
But
us a little bit more. I just want to dig direct. We only have we have a limited time, unfortunately. So tell us a little bit more about how why children. Let's start. Why children get addicted. This is something you're passionate about. So let's talk to parents who are listening. Why do children get addicted to video games, and how this starts?
yeah, so this is it. So kids get addicted to electronics. So I've been searching for that. So like, I have this passion, but so like, why is it that kids, and even those other ones that are addicted in other, like, so like substance, and even relationships of like emotional addiction. And I found out, so that his name is Johan Hari. You can even look at it, parents, and on TED Talk. And he was talking about, to the opposite of addiction is human connection. Like kids, it's like they are in dire need of human connection, because like parents are always busy. We're not, for me, we're not trying to I'm not trying to blame parents, because of course parents want to provide the best for their children. And but the point is, like, we're probably consciously, unconsciously, we have, like, forgotten that, there's such a huge, what is this, a difference when we spend time for children. You have to have a heart emotional connection with children, so that you know what's happening to them. Because like, I say, I'm also addicted. I'm also an addict. I'm addicted to my passion, because with me, it's like, what is a passive addiction? Because I focus and I obsess myself on my passion, and like, um extracting my gifts and my talents and sharing it to the world. But for these kids, actually, that's their best friend. Actually, that's where they find the most connection of all. So, but the thing is, they get distracted from their studies and whatever. Like parents, they want to have their children to have house whole chores at home, but they get addicted to it.
So tell us how can parents recognize that children are addicted to video games, and what is the first step for them to do?
So first step to the know is like parents, they're fully aware. As like a lot of problems are coming out, parents express that oh my gosh, I don't know how to let I don't know how I can like help my kids overcome their addiction to electronics. So number one step is really parents should become really conscious and aware that their kids really need their attention. They need their heart connection with their kids, and spend time, like little bit, like like, if you really ask, because I work, I have this program for children, and I talk to parents, and so like, what are those things? I have questionnaires, ask them, what are those things that they used to do before they become addicted to electronics. So, oh, we would go to like every Sunday they go to church, or they spend time for an hour or two just to really talk to their kids, and play with their kids and stuff. And that's really that's one step. Actually, they start playing with their kids, or with my course, like I have art with me on t-shirt. They can have art stuff in, just even these three moms that I talked to. That's exactly what they said. It's like, my kids, when they were a little, like, I feel so we feel so guilty, because what we used to my kids are super creative, but like, we didn't have time anymore for them, because we have to work every day and stuff. And actually, the parents recognize that.
So tell me, that's very interesting. So tell me, a part of spending time together. So if children are now addicted to video games and parents are trying to reduce it, now when we talk about addiction, right, children will have a reaction. They need to have the video game. They need to play it. So how can parents take this smooth transition to start reducing the time? What should they do when children maybe overreact, when they start crying, have tantrums? If the parent says no to video games, what is the best way to deal with this in
So
practical
the
way?
best way to deal, of course, there's a like let's say with my what is this with my course that I with the program that I give to kids, there's art to overcoming addiction to video games, and there's also a science to it. So like the science, the art of overcoming is like you provide them creative things to do, like art. Kids are naturally creative. In fact, I self-published a book a couple of years ago. And the name of the book is, you can buy it on Amazon. I'm not trying to advertise it, Navina, but the series is like, it's a very simple book. The name of the book is I Am Creative, and it all starts from a dot. So art is a tool or a vehicle for them to be able to express, to rechannel and refocus their attention from electronics. So these kids actually use also electronics as their way for self-expression. They use that, they one of my students, she uses that, so that she can express her creativity. So, but the problem is, they just get hooked to it. So, but you give them, you rechannel their attention to, let's say, give them a t-shirt or a canvas. So that's the art. But the thing is, you have to have a basic foundation. It's like building a house. When you build a house, what's the very first thing that you do before you build a house?
You have to have a
Yes,
plan.
you have to have a plan. You have to have a blueprint. So kids at that very young age, as they start growing up and learning, it starts going to school. They don't get this in school. When you go to school, that's why the two of us, we have the KBB, because KBB promotes self-education. So when they go to school, they learn general knowledge. You know, but having the self-education, like learning, finding their unique passion, your unique talent, they learn that they have something uniquely theirs that nobody can take away from it. And you call it specialized knowledge. So we have to lay down parents should lay down the basic foundation, create a blueprint for them. So, okay, like what is that blueprint? So it's like, it's a goal-driven blueprint where the kids will be guided. So that's what I do. So it starts from knowing themselves. So it's like, this is a really a good idea that parents will go through that. And then it's like, it should be the creative process. That's what I'm doing. And then so like knowing themselves, the second step is they have to extract what is that one thing, because parents know that too well. Like at a very young age, parents will notice that, oh, my kid is so good in this and that. So that specialized knowledge, parents should really focus on that and schedule it. That's what I teach kids. So like, okay, now that you extract that one thing that you really love and enjoy doing most, in 7 days, you have a schedule. This is what you're gonna do. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they have classes. They have schedule for school. So they have to allocate a specific time just for what is this? Just for honing and developing that one thing, their passion. And parents should really not let go of electronics, but so all of a sudden I'm just gonna grab the electronics from you. So parents actually should be responsible, because I, let's put it this way. Let's just being honest and transparent. It's really, if there's somebody to blame this, we should blame the parents, because basically this is our responsibility to really ensure that kids are like, they have to have a schedule on how they're gonna manage their time, rather than just let them be. But
The screen, yeah.
yes, but I think, so like I said, this is not about blaming parents. Of course, we're all learning and growing. I have a lot of my own weak skip. I learned this actually. I have my blueprint when I was younger. I could have been, I'm already 55, but it could have been a different story. But I think because we learned this, now we can, like why are we doing this? Because we want parents to share this to their kids and implement it in their lives. So the
Yeah.
most basic is it's like, okay, second is like find their passion, and third is what are their visions, as to, share to the parents what are the visions. Like parents would tell us like, I want you to be a doctor, I want you to be a nurse, in all this. But once parents discover that their kids have this passion, have this one thing, because they know that, like I know personally that I don't have children. My nieces that live with us, I already know. So like this kid is really good in what she does, and I carried her. In fact, the other girl, like she wrote the book with me. And so and then after that, let them define their purpose. Like at this age you have a purpose. Focus on your studies. My niece, I teach her that you structure your time, because she's also addicted to electronics. It's so simple. You're homeschool. How much hours you want to attain within a month. All you need to do is, you can't do it 10 hours a day. Just start with 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. And then just do it until, what is this, until Saturday. So I told her, if you're gonna spend 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening, you multiply it to like 4 hours a day, multiply it by 26, because that's already how many hours is it? That's uh 100 actually. 104 hours a month. So I said, you start there, and then you just like, once you improve, actually, say, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours, and then the rest of the evening, you have your electronics, and besides, you can help your parents.
Yeah.
And then another practical way is, so let's say, and parents should be consistent. This is it, should be consistent. And then besides, they have to have a commitment pledge that, okay, parents and children, they have to have a written commitment pledge that you have to stick on the fridge, that they see it every day, that we have to do this. Discipline, actually, because actually once parents see this, they will have no problem at all with children grow up, because they always like the blueprint that they created for their kids. They will
Yeah.
always, kids, this is their anchor, this is like compass. It's like, that we go through the storms, ups and downs of
Yeah.
life. This is not just all smooth road. We go the
Yeah.
bumps, bumps, and what is this, plain road, and hills and mountains. But kids, when they have the blueprint, they always go back to their anchor, they're rooted to the blueprint. They're gonna go back, and
Yeah.
once they have that one thing that they're so passionate, that's where they're gonna
Yeah.
anchor themselves.
I'm gonna just wrap up, but by recapping what everything you said, because I think a lot of people, we are talking in a language that we studied this, but so as a parent, it's very important that you first of all recognize that your child has something they're very passionate about. So school is important, but we are talking about make sure that you discover and observe what is that your children love, what are they passionate about, and turn that into something that's going to be either their hobby or maybe they're going to follow it in the future, but put it in their schedule. So Tess was talking about putting all of those things in the schedule, and then plan those activities so you can definitely reduce. Once children are having the schedule, when they have other things to do, they're not going to spend all the time on video games. And last thing that Tess shared with us is definitely have to be consistent. So you have to remember that with children you have to be consistent. It's not going to happen in 1 day or 3 days. It's going to take a couple of weeks, but once they start doing something they love, they're passionate about, it's going to be super, super fun. Well, we're going to make sure that we put a link to Tess' book and way how you can connect with her in the description below of this episode. So make sure to go on Amazon, read a little bit more about art, how art can help your children, and make sure to connect with Tess. And once again, I think this is a very valuable episode. We got so much valuable information. Thank you, Tess, for being here, and thank you everyone for listening.